Okay, what's up YouTube? It's your boy NaughtyNev. So today I just want to give a discussion on how Cyber Dragons can try and play against Malice. This is also preparations you can take for nationals, your next locals, and in my case we have a nationals coming up on my side, so I'm prepping to play at the nationals and hopefully we do really well with Cyber Dragons. Gotta represent. So guys, Malice is one of the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! And they are able to play through multiple interruptions. Sometimes you feel like one hand trap, well, not one hand trap is definitely not enough in this format, but you have two hand traps and you feel that is not enough. Malice is able to play really well under Nibiru, through draw, and there's just some cards that we can play in Cyber Dragons to try and slow down Malice or potentially end their turn. So let's quickly talk about the cards. So let's first talk about the hand traps. In my deck, we're playing Ash Blossom, Fuwalos, and Imperm. I am playing Droll, but Droll does not really have an impact against Malice, so I'm not including it in these set of cards. And now, when it comes to Ash Blossom, I feel like there is only a certain card you would want to stop, and Ash Blossom can be used specifically on White Binder, but specifically White Binder's graveyard effect. And that graveyard, not graveyard, the banished effect. And the banished effect is if this card is banished, you can pay 900 life points, special summon it, then you can draw one card. This is an effect you can ash, and ashing White Binder will work really well because typically the play that they do during your turn is that they summon White Binder and they try to banish the White Rabbit. When special summon, it can set them MTPO7. MTPO7 is the card that banishes the card on the field. So ashing this card, I believe, is the best time to use ash. You don't want White Binder to be summoned. And another card you could probably ash is probably the backup Adignista, since it adds one Dark Cybers monster. And the Cybers monster they can add is either the Wizard or the new Malice monster March Hare. So I believe that ash can be used on the backup Adignista and the White Binder. If you guys have any other suggestions on when is a good time to use ash, just let me know it down in the comments. So that's the reason why we're playing ash. Next, we play Fuwalos. Now, Fuwalos, the Mulchomies are the best cards, well, best hand traps you can play in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, and they are actually self-explanatory. Fuwalos being, well, Meows can be used against Malice, but Fuwalos in general is just a better card of the Mulchomies, and hopefully, as it's self-explanatory, this can slow down Malice, and we get to draw a couple of cards to join to engine and non-engine. Now, Imperm is quite tricky, not as impactful in this format because since Malice has their traps which can just banish the Malice monsters as cost, it becomes difficult to play Imperm, especially with Effect Veiler. But Effect Veiler isn't that impactful because in Imperm, if you draw it off the top of the deck for your turn, Imperm can be used just to try negate a monster on your opponent's field while you control nothing on your field. But we're not playing Effect Veiler for that reason. Imperm is just slightly better. But now when it comes to Imperm, if your opponent does not have the Malice traps set up on the field, then you can probably negate either the White Rabbit, which will set the trap on summon, or even the White Binder, its effect to set the trap. Those two cards are probably the best time to use Imperm. And same thing, you could probably use Imperm on backup Adignista. You could probably also use it on Splash Mage, but it's quite tricky because preferably they're going to Splash Mage to reborn a Malice monster. And if Splash Mage gets negated, maybe they have March Hare, maybe they have a Bestial, or they just have these two cards in hand. So it's quite tricky when to use Imperm, but I believe the best time is to use it on White Binder, on White Rabbit, and also Red Ransom to stop them from getting the spell. Could be the fail spell or could be the Malice in the mirror, I believe. Next, we're going to talk about engine and non-engine, but let's talk about Cyber Dragons. Now, since it's a link deck, our opponents will special summon some of their monsters into the extra monster zone. And I think when you're playing Cyber Dragons, the best thing about you playing Cyber Dragons is not a lot of people will be prepared for Cyber Dragons. And we are obviously playing the two amazing board breakers in Cyber Dragons, Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon and Chimera Tech Mega Fleet. Mega Fleet in particular, as you guys already know, it requires a Cyber Dragon monster. Keynotes, you need to understand the difference. Cyber Dragon monster. So this can be all your Cyber Dragon Core, Hertz, Nashter, or the OG Cyber Dragon. And it just needs a monster in the extra monster zone. So people may end on the Allied Code Talker in the extra monster zone, and simply whatever troublesome monster is in the extra monster zone, if you're able to summon a Cyber Dragon, or in this case, definitely special summoning Cyber Dragon, you can simply just contact fuse the monster away. And now, in my personal experience going up against Maliss, just the mere summon of Cyber Dragon puts so much pressure on my opponent because they already know I am going to contact fuse. So they will be thinking whether they want to use their trap effects, somehow a way to get rid of Cyber Dragon. So I think Cyber Dragon is pretty good in terms of contact fusing away the link monsters in the extra monster zone. And to go along with that, we're going to talk about Clockwork Knight. Now, Clockwork Knight is the MVP in this deck. All monsters on the field become machines, and that automatically means we're going to contact fuse into Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. So these two go hand in hand, and that's one good thing about Cyber Dragons. Now, let's talk about another engine I am playing in Cyber Dragons, and that's the Cashtera package. Now, the MVP of the Cashtera package is obviously Unicorn. Unicorn is able to banish a card from the extra deck, and the targets we want to banish, firstly, is definitely White Binder, guys. I would suggest playing the Cashtera package, especially in this format. Unicorn is so powerful. Get rid of troublesome or key monsters in the extra deck. For example, in this case, we will always go for White Binder. Go for White Binder, go for Red Ransom. Sure, they are playing either Cyber's monsters in the extra deck, which can help Maliss. If they can't go into Maliss plays, then they'll try win the game with their other Cyber's monsters like Allied, Code Talker, or even Access Code. But definitely play Unicorn so that we can just punish our opponent from activating a monster effect and get rid of their important cards from the extra deck. So guys, now we'll talk about the side deck. Now obviously I am playing 3 Lancia and 3 Chaos Hunters. The reason why I'm playing Chaos Hunter is Maliss is a really difficult deck to go against, and I need to see either one of these two cards in my hand to at least try and slow down my opponent. So these two cards are self-explanatory. We just need to stop our opponent from banishing cards on their field. Well, stop them from banishing cards. Sorry, my bad. So these two are self-explanatory. Then when I go second against Maliss, I am playing Droplet because if they're able to summon the monsters on the field, some of the monsters have effects that can disrupt us, such as banishing a card, sending a card to grave. Droplet is one good card we can play. We can negate multiple monsters on the field depending on the cards we send. And then I also believe we can play the back row removal, Harpy's Feather Duster, and Lightning Storm. Their trap cards are important. Their back row is important. But obviously with the new addition of Maliss Marche, they don't need the GWC to reborn a Maliss monster. Marche simply does that. However, I do believe getting rid of their back row does help a lot to deal with Maliss. The back row is troublesome apart from the monsters they have in the hand or on the field, whether it's hand traps or just the engine. So I believe back row removal is important, as well as Droplet. So guys, this is my suggestion and my thinking on how to go against Maliss. If you guys have any suggestions, just let me know down in the comments below, and hopefully this helps. Otherwise guys, till the next video, Naughty Neff signing out. Peace.